Hello, my name is Jeffrey Kerr with Remax Unique. I'm here in Oshawa at the Grandview Children's Center, also known as Grandview Kids. Grandview is a resource center for parents in Durham region who have children with disabilities. I've been invited to their renovation day to give a presentation on my experiences working with families looking for modified homes or homes that can be modified. So I look forward to sharing my presentation with you, and let's go inside. I'm a barrier-free real estate specialist. What I've just passed around is a brochure that gives you a little bit more background about who I am. I was actually here in January at Grandview talking to the OTs, and I guess that presentation went well because they invited me to come back today to speak to all of you. So I'm honored to be here. So thank you to Grandview, and thank you to all of you for being here. A little bit about myself. I've been in real estate now since 1999. I've been focusing on barrier-free real estate since about 2004, and I stumbled into it. I didn't realize at the time that, getting into the business, that this was going to be my focus. But growing up, I had an aunt with MS. My mom was a physio at Toronto Rehab. So growing up with those influences in my life, I realized when it came time to sell a condo that my aunt and uncle had purchased from a builder that was supposed to be wheelchair accessible. And 3 years later, when it was ready, I was with my aunt when she rolled through the front door. My uncle had since passed on. My aunt, within a minute, said, "Jeff, I can't live here. This condo's not designed for me. I can't live here." She handed me the keys and said, "You have to sell it." It was actually through selling that condo, through networking and talking to a lot of people, I realized there was no realtor in the Greater Toronto area that was helping clients with mobility challenges find homes. So I was actually encouraged by the information officer at it was the Canadian Paraplegic Association at the time. He said, "Jeff, we really need someone like you to help our membership." So again, one thing led to another, and now many years later, I'm a barrier-free real estate specialist. I've actually published a book called Barrier-Free Real Estate: Achieving Freedom at Home. There'll be copies here at Grandview for you if you want to borrow and read. I'd love any feedback. In December, I was very lucky. Real Estate Magazine put me on the cover, selling real estate and selling accessible real estate, and so all of these things have sort of combined with some, I guess, CBC actually picked up on a bit of a story, and so in December they did some coverage of me. So again, I'm trying to get the word out there to individuals, to families, but to other real estate agents that that barrier-free real estate is very important, and it's you've got to sort of understand. So I'm trying to give people sort of a better understanding in the professional business in my industry about how to help families with children with disabilities, with older adults, anyone with a mobility challenge. Modify or move. I think these three words, or this question is probably the biggest question that I get when people contact me. Do I modify my home? Do I move? All of you, I'm sure, in this room have sort of asked yourself that same question. Many years ago, I got some sage advice from Tanya Mantis, an OT at Erin Oak in Peel Region. So it's sort of the Grandview of Peel Region. And these words have really stuck with me. And she said, "Jeff, kids grow." It is so true. Kids grow. And And I could have named my presentation "Kids Grow, Plan Ahead," but that's the reality, and I think that's what drives all of you here. Is your kids are growing, how to accommodate them moving forward. You had mentioned about kids, and when they get to a certain weight, that's the time that the elevator goes in. I often get called when parents are struggling to carry their kids up the stairs, and that's when they need to decide, do they modify or do they move? I always encourage families to modify. I believe if you love where you live, you're in a community that you're happy with, look at modifying your home. It's expensive to move. I'm the first to tell my clients that. Don't move if you don't have to. Put some money into your house. As long as it's modified professionally, when it comes time to sell, you have to market your home to the right buyer, buyers who appreciate the modifications that you've done. And if that's done, you'll absolutely get your money back out of it. Yep. Traditional real estate experts, you probably all heard it, location, location, location. And yeah, I think location is very important. That's why I always encourage clients to, if you love where you live, modify it. Stay there as long as you can. But I think there's three sort of more important rules when it comes to barrier-free real estate. And I've already sort of given you a hint. Colleen, I think you touched upon it. Joan, you touched upon it too. When it comes to barrier-free real estate, plan ahead. Plan ahead. Anyone want to guess what the third one is? Plan ahead. Exactly. I think if you take one thing away from my presentation today and from the other presentations, it's plan ahead. And I think that's the most important advice that I can give you. In the media recently, one of the hot topics is, other than how hot the real estate market is, it's kids are moving back home with their parents because, they can't afford their own place. I think many of you in this room will be caregivers your whole life or for a very long time. So I think it's also important to think about yourselves. I like to use the analogy of, you're in an airplane and they tell you when the oxygen masks come down from the ceiling, put your mask on first, then help your child. It's so counterintuitive. I think I would naturally put it on my child first. But if you don't help yourself, you can't help your child. So as parents, as caregivers grow older, you've got to take care of yourself so that you can take care of your child. We've talked, Lonnie talked a little bit about funding. There's always that question of, how do we afford to do all these things? I don't have the answers to that, but I can give you an inspirational story. Mitchell Stark, he's 18 years old. He crowdfunded $30,000 to help his parents modify their bathroom. So this gentleman has cerebral palsy. He's an inspiration. I love chatting with this guy. I'm actually helping him find an apartment in Toronto because he's attending Sheridan College on a program. So, that's how I came across him. But so his parents' house now in Keswick has been modified now with an elevator and with a barrier-free bathroom, in part because he crowdfunded that money. And you know what the best part is? He didn't even tell his parents he was going to do it. He just started it. He raised the money. And he's like, Mom and Dad, CBC is coming to the house today to interview me. Surprise! You can Google him to get his story. I just want to share with you a couple houses that I've worked on in Durham. This one was on Diamond Drive. I can look at pictures of houses all day. Maybe you can too, but this was great. It's the only house I've come across that has 2 roll-in showers, because these folks wanted to welcome their friends and family into their home, so they wanted their friends, when they stayed with them, to feel just as comfortable in their home. So they modified their lower level with an incline platform lift, and on the far bottom picture there, a guest bathroom with a roll-in shower. I mean, I thought that was fantastic. The countertops on this one were lowered. Erica was the primary cook in the family, and she liked she was in a seated position in the kitchen, so that kitchen was modified or custom built for her with the lower counters, the roll under sink. And then up in there, the master bathroom. This isn't everyone's cup of tea. It was an open concept. Master bathroom, master bedroom. There's no walls in between. It was all open concept. But a great roll-in shower, and then the corner tub. This house in Whitby, Joan, this is a Randy Sora design. I've worked with Randy Sora for many years. He's fantastic. I agree. I recommend him. He's a great designer. My parents actually, when it came time for my parents to put a telecab in their house, I brought in Randy Sora to consult with them to do the design. So this house, looking at the kitchen, you wouldn't know it, but it's a barrier-free kitchen. The cupboards open up, the lower cupboards open up and push back in. The breakfast bar for roll under eating space. You've got a platform lift going in from the garage. So, lots of options, and then the roll-in shower. So, I mean, I could go through house after house that I've worked with that the clients have modified. But these were just 2 that in Durham that I wanted to share with you. So, again, my book will be here at Grandview that you can read through, and I'd love your feedback. I'll also be here in the other room with Lonnie and some other vendors. If you have questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. When in doubt, call your OT, because if you find your bathroom looking like that, you're in trouble. But your OT can help. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and again, I'll be sticking around and happy to answer any questions for you.